Hi, my name's Taylor Williams, and the title of my speech is Death Penalty. Imagine standing before someone that murdered or raped someone you know and love. Would you want him to pay for what he's done? The death penalty is the only way to ensure that he will pay. If I were to be a victim of murder or rape, I would want justice. The only justice for these crimes is the death penalty. Many people all around the U.S. have suffered from these murderers and rapists. Death penalty is relevant to my audience because it is the only thing that can keep these murderers and rapists from being able to repeat the crime. Having death penalty in our society appeases taxpayers, help with the overcrowding problem, and gives relief to the victims' families of murder and or rape. First, I want to tell you about how the death penalty appeases the taxpayers of the U.S. I don't know about you, but I definitely don't want my tax money going to these criminals in prison. The amount of money that taxpayers spend on the incarceration of prisoners is extremely high. For example, Henrichsen stated, among the 40 states that participated in a survey, the cost of prisons was $39 billion in fiscal year 2010, $5.4 billion more than what their corrections budget reflected. This crazy amount of money that we put into the prisons could go to more important problems, such as the homeless or schools that actually deserve the money. There is no reason that we as U.S. citizens should be paying this much money in taxes for these people that have no remorse for their terrible crimes that they commit, such as murder and rape. The death penalty is the best way to get rid of the expensive taxes that we pay on murderers and rapists in prison. Rather than spending a large amount of our tax money on these criminals, this money could go towards lowering our national deficit, which in turn would help the average law-abiding citizen, such as ourselves. The total deficit today is increasing by the second, but the latest number that I stopped at was $16 trillion. Now that's a lot of money. Kevin stated, high security inmates cost $33,930 per inmate per year. This could totally be eliminated if the death penalty was enforced for these high security criminals in every state. And all of that money could go to, once again, our national deficit. Now that I have explained how the death penalty will appease taxpayers, I'm going to go over another problem that the death penalty will help. This problem is known as the overcrowding in prisons and jails. Most people say that building more jails and prisons is the best way to solve the overcrowding problem. And yes, that could be a solution. But the best solution would be the death penalty. The death penalty will effectively stop draining more money from the taxpayers to house murderers and rapists. If these murderers and rapists are killed for their crimes, then we won't have any problems with the overcrowding in prisons and jails. And our tax money can go to helping our national deficit. These murderers and rapists get 3 warm meals a day and a place to sleep because of our money. These criminals don't deserve all this special treatment. They deserve to get the death penalty. If we keep building more jails and prisons, then our taxes are going to keep rising to pay for these facilities. If we don't build more jails and prisons, then there won't be a rise in our taxes. Now that we have gone over 2 of the main problems that the death penalty will help, I will now talk about how the death penalty will give relief to the victims of murder and rape. If my loved one was murdered or raped, I would want justice. The only justice that is appropriate for these crimes is the death penalty. The idea of the death penalty dates back to the 16th century BC. The death penalty has been used in lots of countries, not only the U.S. It was said that in Egypt, people that were accused of magic were ordered to take their own lives. For example, Reggio stated, as far back as the ancient laws of China, the death penalty has been established as a punishment for crimes. In conclusion, it should be now evident that the death penalty should be enforced for murderers and rapists. Enforcing the death penalty in our society will appease taxpayers, help with the overcrowding problem in prisons and jails, and give relief to the victims' families of murder and or rape. Murderers and rapists don't deserve to live. Thank you.